Shri Bhakti Akademija-Nektar ki jai, Guru Goswami ki jai, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Guru Prabhupada ki Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Two colors, right? Red and red. And red.
You will do some screen. Can you log in Zoom?
We'll do Zoom and then what?
You just share.
You will make me a co-host or something.
Yes.
Okay. So then we go. The link is on WhatsApp, right?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Yasya prasadagyapi sadhya sarvagyatam vrajet sa Shri Chaitanya Devame Bhagavan Samprasidatu. Amazing. Okay, we have some people already there. Haribo. Okay, I should look there, right? Hare Krishna. Okay. And can you hear me? Can nod. Okay. Good. Okay. So this verse I've chanted is from Madhya 1:1. May Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, be fully merciful unto me, by His grace, a complete fool, Agya, ignoramus, can get all knowledge, sarvagyata, can become omniscient in one moment. So that's Madhya Lila. And then another, today I was checking the beginning of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is in Madhya Lila, also of Chaitanya Charitamrita, beginning with chapter 20. And I found, this is, strangely enough, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu has been written by Rupa Goswami. But in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is almost completely contained in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings to Sanatana Goswami. Yes. So I don't know why, but this is how it is. And I found that this chapter 20 begins with a verse I've been chanting for years. And I like this verse very much. Vande Nantadbhutai Shvaryam Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhum Nichopyat Prasadat Syad Bhakti Shastra Pravartaka. I give a slightly different translation to this verse, that my respectful obeisance unto the infinitely powerful Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by whose grace, Yat Prasadat, Nicha, a fallen person, can become a teacher of Bhakti Shastra. I think it's very fitting. So these last 5 chapters, or rather 5 chapters, 20 to 24 through 24, they contain basically the full Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and a little bit also of Ujjwal. That will be written by Rupa Goswami, and you have plenty of verses from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu itself here. And the Bhakti Shastri part, the eastern part, we have studied already in this room probably 3 times, if not maybe 4, at least 3, I remember. But this part we studied only 1 time. And in such a mixed audience with spanning several continents, never. First time ever. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Asadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada's favorite book, Nectar of Devotion. Narayana Mataji is saying if Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna book is Krishna, then the nectar of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is probably Hare Krishna. The one whose name is hidden in the Mahamantra 8 times. So the first part is, so we have 4 sides of this ocean, and Bhakti Shastra includes the eastern side, so it begins with the eastern side. What's the Latin for east? You know, definitely know. What is Latin for east? Latin for east. You don't know.
Something
O, yes.
Yes.
Second is R. Second letter is R. Yeah. Yes, thank you. So, when we orient ourselves, we orient to the east. Because that's sort of the most unchangeable thing, you know, that, okay, some other things you can vote about, you know, but not about the sunrise, where the sun rises. This you cannot vote, it's there, this side. So we orient by the sunrise, where the sun rises. So therefore, in the Indian maps, ancient Indian maps, east was the beginning, was the side where we orient ourselves. And this is Samanya, the general description of Bhakti, and then 3 more waves. Anybody remembers 3 more waves from also our online audience? 3 more waves for the eastern side of the ocean of Bhakti. Somebody remembers? You can unmute yourself and just say nothing. Three more. What are the four ways of the Bhakti Shastri part? Bhakti and pure Bhakti, and then three more. The biggest part is sadhana, practicing. You have it in the book on page 409. All the waves are enumerated. It's a very simple and logical structure where you have four sides, four general parts, and then waves are big chapter, like sections, big sections. So we have general, then sadhana, and then after sadhana, we must have bhava, and after bhava,
Prema.
yes, yes. So now we are in the south, and the southern part is called Samanya Bhagavad Bhakti Rasa, general symptoms of transcendental mellow. It's an interesting. So we have a lot of Sanskrit terms, and these Sanskrit terms are, in fact, more logical to remember than translations. Usually Sanskrit is easier to remember than translations. So Prabhupada has been trying to translate rasa as mellow, but it's not so clear. Mellow means like nowadays, it is a word, but it's not a noun. Mellow means relaxed, juicy, sweet, laid back, yeah, mellow, soft, yeah, maybe sweet. So we have rasa as the taste. Usually we finally settled to translate this as taste, a mellow taste. Juicy, sweet, nice, mellow taste. And we will have 5 main rasas. So Prabhupada begins his Bhagavad Gita introduction on page 2, saying that you can be in 5 different relationships with the Lord. Passive neutral and active neutral. Weirdly enough, which is easier, which we have already learned the Sanskrit words for, and we call them passive neutral, we call what rasa? And active neutral, dasya, yes. And then, and then we have friendly, paternal, and conjugal. Prabhupada is translated, or yeah, conjugal, loving, love. So this will be the western side. This is the western side of the ocean, and then the northern side will be 7 extra rasas, and they are mixtures, good mixtures and bad mixtures, which we in our society for some reason call rasabas. We call rasabas as literally the rasabas means reflected rasa, and it is not necessarily bad. Rasabas can be good also. What is bad is viroda rasabas. That's not nice, but there is also a good rasabas actually. You will see in the end of this of the Nectar of Devotion. So we have also seven so five primary and 7 secondary. I always find it a fascinating exercise to review the 7 secondary rasas, because we always forget one. Shock. Okay. Actually, Prabhupada says shock. Shock is, what's the Sanskrit for shock? What's the synonym for shock? Huh? Shock means lamentation. What's the Sanskrit for shock?
Vibhatsa.
Vibhatsa. I think this is, thank you. I think vibhatsa is the other one. This is ghastliness. And shock is
Adbhutas.
it's a good shock. When Prabhupada says shock as a rasa,
Bhayanaka.
Bhayanaka, thank you. The other, so fear actually, fear of in Sanskrit Bhayanaka, yeah, Bhayanaka. So se boish. You see that in many languages it has survived. This word bhaya has survived. Okay, so shock, fear. Next, adbhuta. Okay, adbhuta is what is how do you translate adbhuta?
Wonder.
Wonder. Yes. Okay. Now this is this. Is it big enough? Should I? Who can see here and who can see? Let me see. There you see nothing, I'm sure. Okay.
Can you share?
I should probably share this. Okay. Let me share this window here. Yes, it's kind of. Okay. All right. So wonder, adbhuta. Then 3.
Virya.
Virya. Yes. Chivalry, yes, chivalry. Hare Krishna. And we will see that there are 3 types of chivalry. There is, there is Yudhavir, Danavir, and Dayavir. One who likes to give charity is a hero in charity. Another is a hero in compassion. And only one is Yudhavir at the battlefield, like who? On the battlefield?
Vishnu.
Bhishma. Okay. Yes. What a lucky Bhima, yes, Bhima. Okay. More? Laughter, okay. Hasya. Hasya. Hasya, easy to remember. Almost in every language we have haha. Hasya. Laughter. What else? Some other? Audarya. Sounds good. Yeah, but I think Audarya, this is how Sthairati is defined. Maybe it's Audarya, but usually for rasa we use some other word instead of Audarya. Karuna, yes, Karuna, yes. And the translation is Karuna is mercy or compassion. Yes, so this is Karuna, okay? Just 2 more. I'm sure nobody will forget in this group. This is a very well-prepared group. 2 more.
Raudra.
Raudra. Raudra means anger. Yes, yes. Raudra.
Okay, that's it.
You have to stop, right?
Yeah.
You have to forget one. Some intrigue is there.
Well, ghastliness.
Ghastliness, yes.
And then we try to remember some.
Okay, ghastliness. Vibhatsa, yes, Vibhatsa. Very good, very well. So these are the 7 secondary rasas. This is the north of our ocean. And in the first canto, Srila Prabhupada says something interesting. He says that if you understand these 12 rasas, you will also understand all the relationships in this world. It's always very intriguing. If you understand, because all the relationships in this world are a reflection of these rasas with Krishna in the spiritual world. And in also the Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada says several beautiful things. He says that everyone within this world is perpetually engaged in some sort of service, and the impetus for such service is the pleasure we derive from it. Pleasure. And to be more specifically, it's not really necessarily directly what we call pleasure, but a taste, because you can see we have these 12 rasas, and not all of them can be called pleasure. Like, for example, shock or ghastliness are not really what we call pleasure, but it's 90%, 99% nowadays of all the news, all the TV, all the YouTube. That's, shock and ghastliness. So there is a lot, and people spend a lot of time in it. And it's connected to the same reward systems in the brain with dopamine, and strangely enough. So this is some taste. So we are driven by these tastes to do anything. Also, Prabhupada says in the preface something that if you didn't know, you would say this is some new age. Sometimes I read the books and I can't believe my eyes. Is it Srila Prabhupada? Yes, it's Srila Prabhupada. But I have read, I didn't see. No, it's there. So Prabhupada says, no one can live without loving someone else.
I wanted to say.
Yes.
So everybody loves somebody sometimes.
It's not your singer. That's Barbara Streisand, no? You usually sing Beatles songs.
Yeah, and Martin also.
Okay, then then it's all right.
Everybody loves somebody.
Okay, yes. So are you alive? Hare Krishna. See you.
I guess not.
Krishna, Krishna.
No response. We were in shock.
Okay, so in the Southern Ocean, section, we learn about the 5 ingredients, and this is it's an amazing. It's like a nectar cookbook. And just today, as I was preparing, I got a $1 million business idea. Maybe not a million, I don't know, but a big business idea. Because this is a cookbook, and usually cookbook, you just have a recipe. But here, Rupa Goswami gives you a cookbook and he sends you the ingredients also. So that on the spot, immediately you can cook.
How can we sell this?
Start a cooking course where for a small amount of money, you send them all the ingredients.
Cooking set.
Yes, cooking set with the ingredients together, yes.
Wow.
Yes, it was in
And then no speculation, everything measured, everything there, just cook. Right? Anyway, who knows? So, okay, so when you start earning your second dozen of millions, you can share with the temple. The first also can share. So, Rupa Goswami gives us all the ingredients, the recipes, and he lets us cook rasa. Prepare rasa in our heart so that we attain the higher success in life. So chapter 20 is called Transcendental Mellow. So far, this Southern Ocean have been taught in the VHE by Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj a couple times. And then we have done it here. And just now, Urmila Devi has been doing, and we have some of the participants, I think, also from from Urmila Devi's course here. And I'm just now listening to the audio. She's done a very, and I have her PowerPoint. It's a very systematic, very deep course. But in general, it's not frequently studied compared to the other parts. Now, so even though it's a legitimate part of the Bhakti Vaibhav. So maybe what we can do, maybe we can now try to solve a problem. How about? I'm sorry, nobody has any problem so far, but I will give you a problem.
No problem.
No, okay. I think we'll try to solve. So how about we maybe break into pairs and try to, you of course all know, but maybe you can think what could be the ingredients for a loving relationship. Loving relationship. So let me maybe put it here as a task. Yes. Formula of love, yes. So how about, let's all of us take 10 minutes, and maybe those online, maybe we can, how shall we do? Shall we do the rooms? Do you hate rooms, or can you digest rooms for 5 minutes? Can digest rooms? Okay. So let's break you into rooms, and just, of course, it's a little tricky because you already know the answer, some of you, but I'm not yeah, I have breakout rooms. How many we have? 13. So
Some are double because it's
okay, so let me see. I will create, you will have, shall I? Okay, I'm creating 3 rooms, and you can please choose a room. Please join your rooms. And if there are only 2 people in the room, that's okay. Can you see your rooms there? No. And you here, you just turn to your neighbor. So just imagine, let's say, a father and a child, a lover and a man and a woman, a master and a servant, for example. And just try to imagine what could be ingredients. You can minimum 2, maximum 20. That's okay. You can create your try to create your own formula for love. What could be the ingredients that could make this
What kind of love?
Do you want me to assign you kind of love, or you will choose yourself? Okay, rooms are going good. And who will? Can you try to? Let's say parent, but take any of the, let's say, 4 higher rasas, and try to think what could be ingredients for love. Like a good bank account, is it a good ingredient? Any loving relationship will flourish.
Desire to
Just I thought what I got from Govinda Prabhu, I think we can write one more book after that. Direction. What else do you have? Oh, forgiveness. Humility, yes. Okay. All right. Thankful, yes. Yes. Okay, Hare Krishna. So maybe, are you ready there? So let's get back. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So if I close, will it be a... Okay, so for example, here you can see this is what...
They are back, ready?
We are back, yes.
All? In the room?
They can't hear, they are not... Shall we close the rooms or...
Otherwise, they can hear us, no?
Can they hear us? They can't? Can you hear us? No.
Those in the rooms, no, but...
Okay, so then...
or broadcast message.
Okay.
Maybe right now.
I think if I close, they
will return back to the main room.
But they have 60 seconds, yes.
Yeah.
They have 60 seconds. Yeah.
That's good.
For you, close down.
So they say, okay, good. But, and my sharing is paused. Let's resume. Oh. So, where are we?
6.
Are we above?
3.
Hare Krishna. Are you back online? I don't see. I'm also not seeing them. I'm not
Open all rooms. That
meeting disconnected. You can back, okay. Okay, so we have the real world and we have a reflected world. Govinda.
can you share that?
I'm sharing. Is this not shared?
No.
Really? I'm sharing this, no? I'm sharing. It's just my internet is hanging. I think.
Yes.
It kicks me out.
But you are on, but because
Yeah, you're on. I'm on through this,
yeah,
but not
for sharing, yes.
Yes. Yes, the exciting adventures of the 2021 lectures. What if yes, I'm jumping the other, I'm going through my phone. Now it works, okay. Again, share, here, and here, yes. Have it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so our task is to find the reality behind the reflection or from the reflection. And this is tricky. So, like Govinda Prabhu suggested, some very good ideas that for a relationship we need attraction, trust on one side, trustworthiness on the other, forgiveness, humility, thankfulness. If somebody from internet, from Zoom, if you have your ideas, can you please drop them into chat? And you can see in chat, what do you think could be the ingredients for rasa? And what were your ideas?
Frustration.
I don't know. Respect. Okay. So you have respect. That's good. Respect.
We have exclusivity.
Exclusivity. Okay.
Secrecy.
Secrecy. Trust. Okay.
Commitment.
How?
Commitment.
Commitment.
Attention. Yes.
Attention. I'm sharing this, right?
The other.
Yes. Okay. Huh?
Desire to please the other.
Okay, that's actually desire to please the other. That's actually the anukulyana, right?
Yes.
Appreciation.
You can say
Appreciation.
Tolerance.
Tolerance. Yes. Okay. So we have forgiveness. Yes. Tolerance. Surrender. Okay.
How do you say iznajdljivost?
Inventiveness. That you are able to.
You know. Creativity. Yes, creativity. Like that.
All right.
Never know.
Empathy. Trying to understand each other.
Empathy. Okay, you put yourself in the other person's.
Praise.
There's on the chat few possessions.
Okay, let me see, what do we have in chat? Okay, commitment, meaning and separation, emotions, expressions of voluntary and involuntary, stimulus, relationship, basic type. Okay, good. This is from the Nectar of Devotion. Okay.
exchange of gifts.
Exchange of gifts.
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice. Okay, so this is from chat. Oops.
Should we say playfulness?
Playfulness. All right. Okay, so I think we have some good basis for more books. All right. Chance for humor.
Makes sense.
Good. Okay.
There are a few from Vinata Bhattajan
More? Okay.
in the chat. Loving relationship.
Ability to express one's emotions. Okay, good. So let us see what Rupa Goswami writes based on.
I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you. We should do this again.
All right, so we see that Srila Prabhupada writes, in this division of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there are 5 general topics. So I guess we can take it from here. To share this, I need to go here, right? This is shared. You can see this there?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is from Srila Prabhupada. He puts this in chapter 20. And these are the 5 ways of the southern ocean of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. These are the 5 ingredients given by Rupa Goswami, and we can understand that they are given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and this is in general based on Bharat Muni. So these are the 5 terms: Vibhava, Anubhava, they're all bhavas. One is V, Anu, Satvika, Vyabhichari, and Sthai. So what we know as rasas, these 5 and 7, this is, Prabhupada translates this here as continuous, and or sthai, that which stays. Yes, sthai. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So you can see this is one of the universal Indo-European roots. It's almost in every language. Sthai. So this is sthai bhava. So we can try to come up with another analogy. We can probably say this is like the general name of the dish. What are you cooking? What is it? Is it halava? Is it khichdi? So you have to decide what are you making. Yeah? Is it? And then it will be. Then you have to add all these other things. But Sthai Bhava is you can see listed as number 5 here. So we have 12 general flavors. But the beginning is Vibhava. So Vibhava is Prabhupada translates as causes of ecstasy. In another place it says basic ecstasy or the basis. So it has some other Sanskrit terms connected to it. Alambana, Asraya, and Vishaya. So these are several Sanskrit terms that we will have to learn, and you will learn anyway, and whether you want it or not. Sorry. And many of them you already know. Srila Prabhupada, you can see, has been somewhat struggling to find the exact translation for all these things in Sanskrit, and it's very interesting that the Nectar of Devotion was one of the very early books. This was one of the very first books Srila Prabhupada made. So this was, you can see in the preface, Srila Prabhupada expresses his gratitude to whom? With thanks for contribution made by my beloved disciple Sriman Jayananda. You can see this is 1970, so it means Prabhupada was doing this in 69, approximately. So it's one of the very, very first books. And Prabhupada says in Ishopanishad, purports that to learn bhakti, you please refer to the Nectar of Devotion and learn Nectar of Devotion.
How did he make this? I mean, these are not verses. He translated Bhagavatam, he had verses with him.
Yes.
How did he make Nectar of Devotion?
So you can see Nectar of Devotion is one of the very few books where Prabhupada went outside of his standard, because his standard is that he gives you Sanskrit, the Sanskrit. And this is how he did the full Srimad Bhagavatam, the full Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ishopanishad, Upadeshamrita, almost every book, except Bhagavad Gita, except the Nectar of Devotion, because he wanted, so what it shows, he wanted to give it quickly. We have 17 verses done in his traditional standard, and he printed them in the Back to Godhead before coming. So there you have the Sanskrit and the translation. But here, this is why he calls this summary study somewhere. Although, in fact, the full book is here. It's excerpt. It's not condensed. The full book is here. Almost every verse and almost every word from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is here.
Similar to Krishna book.
Similar to Krishna book, yes. So these are actually Krishna book and these are and teachings of Lord Chaitanya. These were the first, the very first books, and you can see that Prabhupada was trying to do them quick. In teaching the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, he included a lot of Sanskrit. But here you don't even have much in terms of Sanskrit at all. So in that verses, only the terms. So these terms Prabhupada includes. So three of them, or maybe even just two of them, or maybe just one of them. Is what we like. So Sattvika Bhava. Sattvika Bhava, we have 8 Sattvika Bhavas, like hair standing on end, choking voice, crying, perspiring. These are involuntary ecstasies which you cannot control. They just come. And usually this is, when we say ecstasy, this is what we understand by ecstasy. The other things we do not really call ecstasies in our general understanding. When we speak ecstasy, this is what we think of when we speak about it. The others are necessary. Prabhupada writes that you need all 5 to have the mixture of all 5 to have ecstasy. Let me go here and see if I can. So this is from. Can I see? I can copy from here and go here. And yes. So I think this will be shared now, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is from Urmila Devi's PowerPoint. So what we want is taste. Yes. It's all within the framework of Sai Baba, one of the 5 rasas, direct rasas, main rasas, primary rasas. And then you have stimulants, voluntary expression, involuntary expression, and emotions, which are spicing this up. So do not worry if you forget, because we will be going through this many times, but please read ahead. And you can see that every time some rasa is analyzed by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he analyzes this in terms of these 5. And this is coming from the science of rasa. So the actors in the drama were supposed to create rasa in themselves and in the audience. And we are also supposed to recover our eternal rasa. So eternal rasa is this basic connection, but it has 5 components. So this is the name of the dish, but it's based on vibhava. There will be stimulants and also the direction of our flow. In voluntary expression, this will be this, ecstasy manifest in the body, 8 ecstasies. This is probably the shortest chapter, the 8 satvika ecstasies. The voluntary expression in Sanskrit is called anubhava. So basically what happens, you have to establish vibhava. So some devotees are saying that all of our sadhana means that we establish vibhava. Because vibhava has ashraya and vishaya. Ashraya is, Jiva Goswami also says, adhara, or the container, but the beautiful word is vessel, like a vase. You can say container, but it doesn't sound very nice. So vessel is beautiful container, jeweled vessel. So do we have some? Let's see.
Vessel.
How do you say this? Kako?
Silets.
No silets. No, but not in posoda. But posoda also doesn't sound like a poetic thing.
Chasha.
Chasha. Oh, chasha. Yes, chasha. Like a cup. You become a cup.
Kelich.
Very nice. So you become a cup. You become a beautiful jewel cup of beautiful, tasty love, which should flow to the vishaya, to the object. So the problem of the material world, why we are in an upside down world, why we are upside down, what is this desire that makes it all upside down, is that, as Burijan Prabhu is joking, that I think that I should be in the center. It's logical, right? Everywhere I look, it's all around me. I'm a natural center for everything. Right? So I think that love should flow to me. Right? I also flows a little back. That's natural. Not a lot is flowing back, but I'm the center. So that's this problem, that I drag the blanket onto myself. I try to drag love to me. So here I think because Vishaya means the object. I think I am the lovable object. Everybody should love me. Burijan Prabhu is joking that it's okay, but the problem is that the 7 billion of everybody else, each of them also think, no, everything correct, but a little mistake, not you, but me. And so you have 7 billion of these. Yeah. Whereas there actually is a natural center, and this is Krishna and Vishaya. And if we try to send our love to Krishna, so basically here we are dragging this love from Krishna and everywhere to ourselves, and this is an unnatural state of affairs. So that's why instead of sweet milk of prema, we have the rotten milk of lust of the material world.
So that's why when we pray like, oh, God, give me, we shouldn't be. We should be, what can I do for you? What can I do?
That's what Prabhupada says.
That's what Prabhupada says.
Well, as I recently mentioned, we anyway want different things. So if at least we try to loop it through Krishna, or put Krishna in the center, that please give me to serve you. If you agree, and if you so desire, and if you don't give, that's also okay. So in surrender, meaning in the mood of Sharanagati. And then Krishna may give, or he'll say, actually, I think rather than this, you need that. Okay, so some devotees are saying that basically what we are trying in sadhana, we are trying to learn how to direct the flow instead of trying to attract the flow to myself. We are trying to direct the flow to Krishna. Whatever we do, everything we do is directing love to Krishna. So all our sadhana, all our practice, all our mantra, all our hearing, all our coming to the temple. This is, reversing this imaginary flow of love from the false fantasy to the reality that, no, this is for Krishna's pleasure. So I'm doing this to please Krishna. We have the idea is to reestablish the true flow of love towards Krishna. And this will be also one of the most attractive parts of the Nectar of Devotion. If you remember from the Nectar of Devotion, probably one of the most attractive, beautiful parts of the Nectar of Devotion are Krishna's qualities. Yes, Krishna's qualities, descriptions of Krishna's qualities, which is in fact is not even supposed to be such a big part, but it's a very sweet part, and they are the Uddipanas. So I can copy this quickly. This is what Srila Prabhupada writes. That Vibhava is divided into two categories, Alambana and Uddipana. So Alambana means basis. And Uddipana is literally, Deepa, you may know what's Deepa. Light. It's a lamp, right? So, and Uddipa is the lighter. And this is what lights up. Ud is up, and Deepa it's lighting up. Yeah, I'm going around and I'm not lighted. And then we hear that Krishna is all honorable, and therefore the secretary of Krishna comes out and says, Varuna, can you please pray a little softer, not so loud, because you're making too much noise. And Indra, you please go away. Today Krishna will have no time for you. And you hear about this and you light up a little. Wow, Krishna is really all honorable. and your love naturally may start flowing a little bit towards Krishna. Not to me, but towards Krishna. So that's stimulant, right? So we translate this as stimulants. Uddipana. Ashraya and Nishaya we already discussed, yes? So Ashraya means vessel, or you are familiar with this word Ashraya in connection to Krishna as shelter. So here Ashraya means the sheltering cup of love. And ourselves, we actually do not have much. But when we start the correct direction of the flow, then we get the blessings. We join the distribution network of Srimati Radharani, and she sends so much joy that we can give to Krishna. We can have it flowing to Krishna. Vessel, what else? Cup, okay. Fountain, and Vishaya is the object. So this is Krishna. And then Udipanas are characteristics of this object of Krishna. So we are trying to put Krishna as the object of our life, of our love, instead of trying to sit on his throne and demand love for ourselves. But in other words, in the material world, it's all upside down. This is everything is we are trying. It's all upside down because we are trying to draw it to ourselves. So when we put it correctly, then we put Krishna as the object, and that's the natural direction. Okay, so this is what we will going to be discussing. There will be this is 16 chapters, chapter 20 through 35, and a lot of the 20 to 24 are Udipanas, Krishna's 64 qualities, some other qualities, and then Krishna's 4 characters, Krishna's 16 faults, which he does not have, unless sometimes in a sweet way. There's a whole seminar on it. I think Madhavananda Prabhu gave once the seminar on the 16 faults of Krishna. So Vibhava is the proper flow. So sadhana is establishing Vibhava, and then if love is stimulated, then we do something like dance, jump, or like when you hear that we meet tomorrow at, so now it's almost 6, and tomorrow we meet at 12. Yes. So tomorrow we continue at noon. So you wow, you get up, you step down. Let's stand up. That's Anubhava. In yes. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, when they take prasadam, all the time they say Hari Hari. Or I've been in some places in South India, in Kurmakshetra, in Sri Vaishnava's monastery. So they take prasadam, and from time to time they can't control themselves, and they will recite Madhura Madhura Mangala Mangala. They will recite some verse that they are inspired to. So these are actions motivated by the movement of rasa, and practically all of our sadhana matches these anubhavas, but we are not maybe moved yet, but by acting as the perfect devotees, we can kickstart, so to say, we can maybe get the proper flow of the proper emotions and feelings. And then satvika is involuntary. Then sometimes your voice is choking, tears are flowing, and so forth, or you become red or white. Now it's going to be very easy to become white, and just good. Yeah, in the morning it's -2. Hare Krishna. And Sthayi Bhava. What is Sthayi Bhava?
Next primary rasas.
Yeah, 5 primary rasas. And Vyabhichari Bhava is a curious category. Prabhupada calls it aggressive ecstasy. Like you're sitting peacefully chanting japa, Hare Krishna, and then an aggressive ecstasy comes. And attacks you. That's Anubhava. This is Anubhava. This was Anubhava.
Yes.
Yes. Yawning is Anubhava.
I didn't want to do this.
So Satvika.
Okay, oh, Satvika. Then this is Satvika. Yes. Then this is Satvika. So, so Yavichari, like there is a feeling of guilt, feeling of pride, feeling of being diseased, feeling of being tired. It's number 7. Sleepiness is number 13. Meaning they are fleeting waves that come and go. That's why Prabhupada calls them aggressive, meaning that they're coming. And in another place, they're called transient. They're transitory. They're coming and going. So that's these 5 together, mixed together. They form rasa, a transcendental mellow.
So in the middle, they're mixed, basic connection, and then down it goes into rasa. And you made that diagram. So they're mixed
This one,
together,
yeah.
they form rasa.
Yeah, that altogether becomes it's not even rasa, it's a river of rasa, we can say. It's a river of rasa. Because all of us have felt this or that now and then. But with Krishna, this is an eternal river of rasa, which, or we can say current within this ocean of Bhakti Rasa Amrita, nectarian rasa. Hare Krishna. So we will have several, maybe not compatible objectives in our discussion here. So one objective will be to study the recipes, and maybe we will learn some of these Sanskrit names. This is one objective, but the other objective is to relish and cook. At least some training form of experience, so that we can. This is one of the classic goals of systematic study, to experience some taste. And the Nectar of Devotion is an amazing book, because it is so packed with taste that even a neophyte oftentimes will be able to experience some attraction. And a lot of the things that you have mentioned as parts of ingredients of a loving relationship, you can see that they will either be connected to ashraya, your position, or to vishaya, trustworthiness, who we establish Krishna as the object of our love, or like respect. This is the direction of the flow, where the flow goes, because Krishna already loves us. Krishna already wants us happy. The question is where we direct our attention. And some of it, yeah, you can see some of those are like praise. This is anubhava. Then ashraya, being a worthy cup or vessel. These are some of these things, like surrender, empathy, tolerance, forgiveness. This is building a proper vessel or cup where Krishna can actually put these very, very valuable nectar. If you have some very, very valuable nectar, you won't just drop it on the floor. You want to give it in a nice cup. Okay, so we will continue tomorrow at noon East Central Summer Time. CEST it's called. And do we have any questions or comments so far? Riznica, treasury law. Okay, this is good.
From Renata?
Is it possible to experience rasa if we do not yet know what our Sthaya Bhava is? So as Srila Prabhupada says, this whole world is full of some reflected rasas, and when even for a short while we try to establish the proper direction of the flow, then we can get a glimpse. We can get a glimpse. This is called Chaya Rati Abhas. In the first part, it was in the first part of the Nectar of Devotion, chapter 18, 17-18 bhava. It's Chaya Rati Abhas, and then there is even worse, Pratibimba Rati Abhas, a reflected ecstasy in somebody who is not even a devotee, but who has learned something about Krishna, has read something about Krishna, has some other desires, and meets devotees. So yes, it's possible, but it's not the steady one. It's called Rati Abhas. Is it? Looks like my battery is over. Very timely. Thank you. Good. All right. So, anything else?
Well, I have one question. I'm watching this and sites that's out on this trust, and I'm trying to put all these things together. To see what is rasa, the bhavas also in each individual rasa, or how?
Yes. So yes. So these 5 ingredients. This is how they will analyze each of these 12 rasas.
Oh, okay. And also
They will be slightly different, but each of them will have these 5 vibhava, anubhava, satvika, vyabhichari, and style. Each style will have these.
so these bhavas are called ingredients.
Yes.
Okay.
Ingredients.
Okay. And this also goes then proceeds when the devotion comes from bhava to prema.
Mhm.
It's also these ingredients. So how come the bhavas?
Bhava, in general, bhava means love.
Okay.
And when we use it as a term, it's the beginning of love rising and blossoming. It's the true transcendental emotion because our heart is melting by the touch of prema. And then we will already be able to know our eternal Sthaya Bhava. So when we say Bhava, it can mean so many different things. It can mean preliminary love, or it can mean loving component, like in these Vibhava, Sthaya Bhava. Yes? Or it can mean some other things. So prema is described as the goal, prema pumarto mahan, love of Krishna. Krishna prema is the goal of sadhana and life, the greatest goal of all efforts. But at prema, all the fun only begins. In fact, all these things, they describe what happens after you achieve prema. So all of this is the description of the fun that unfolds completely after you get prema. But even if you do not have full prema, Prabhupada says that you can be born in the universe where Krishna performs pastimes, or I think we can be born in a neighbor village of Gauranga Mahaprabhu and from time to time join his kirtan. And I have read that when the wind blows from the side where Saranga Thakur stands, or some other Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associate, and the wind touches him and then touches us, our heart melts and we are catapulted forward in our advancement. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you very much. We'll continue tomorrow at noon. Pancha